I have joined one of my favorite bands growing up as an official member, and my brain is still processing. My teenage brain is freaking out. I am currently being onboarded into this band, and I just what the hell is happening? What's up, guys? I am now the permanent screamer for the band, the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, and I wanted to kind of say hello if you guys don't know who I am, introduce myself, which if you're watching my YouTube channel, you probably already know who I am, but I kind of wanted to just go into the lore of me and Red Jumpsuit and how we got to where we are now. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a story, so if you are down to hear about it, definitely buckle up. If not, I'll see you at a show. Hopefully, we are going on tour in August all over the United States. We're playing a bunch of music festivals. The first show I will be playing with them as an official member is going to be Vans Warped Tour in Long Beach. And then we head out for a tour in August, and we've got Aftershock, Louder Than Life, When We Were Young in October, Warped Tour again in Orlando in November, and that is about it for this year. And then we're working on stuff for next year, but I'm not going to get into that because, frankly, I have no information. It's still in the processes of being worked on, so I literally have no info for anybody, so don't ask me. If you want to know where we're going at any time, do what Ronnie always says to do, which is check the website, theredjumpsuitapparatus.com. They have a tour tab. That's where you'll find us. But let's get into this. Okay, so by the way, people have been asking me, did you know this was coming? Was your reaction live on Instagram? Did you know beforehand that he was going to ask you that? I was like, no. You found out the same time I found out, which was live on Instagram. If you haven't seen that video clip, I will insert it here, and then we will talk about it.
I want you to join the band, Kay, and be the all-time, full-time screamer from now on, so Randy can focus on clean vocals and harmonies with me.
Bro, what? Are you for real? Are you for real, bro?
There's one catch. You have to say yes or no right now.
I mean, yeah. What do you mean? There is no other option.
Hey,
here's the torch.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. I will take that
torch.
torch and I will run full speed into the streets.
Yeah, so I literally found out when everybody else did that this was a thing. But I did want to kind of go back into the archives, the history of me and the band, just so everybody kind of gets a more clear picture of this. And I'm sure I will be hit up by a few press outlets in the future to do interviews and things about how I got involved with the band, and I'll have to figure out how to make this more concise, but this is the long spiel. Media outlets, feel free to share this as you wish, or reach out to me directly, whatever. My email is always in the description. But let's see. The first time I ever saw the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus was in November of 2006, right after Don't You Fake It came out. It was the face down release, it was the embarkation of the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus on their first kind of tour. So that was 2006. So we're almost at the 20-year mark. I saw them play with Medina Lake and with Lorraine Drive in a college cafeteria at Oklahoma City or University, OCU. I don't even remember if that's the official name of the college, but it was in a college cafeteria. I begged my mom to take me to this show, so my mom took me to the show, and I had been listening to Red Jumpsuit since they kind of released their Face Down and the album and stuff. But I had also found Medina Lake because the twins were on Fear Factor Twins, and Joe Rogan made them sing a song because they were like, oh, we're in a band. And Joe Rogan was like, sing something. So they sang a song. And back then they were still called the Blank Theory. I'm going way back. They ended up winning Fear Factor Twins. And I believe they used the money to fund Medina Lake, to fund their music. Fast forward, I got to see them. Years later, I saw Medina Lake again at Warped Tour. I ended up with Nathan's Warped Tour pass because he crowd surfed. It fell off his belt loop, and I couldn't get it back to him. So I still have it somewhere. I should probably return it to him. Not that he needs it, but I should just present it to him next time I see him and be like, hey, I still have this. But yeah, now, I've done some stuff with their organization, Charity Bomb, which is a charity that helps musicians that are needing medical help financially. They helped Matthew after he was brutally assaulted in an alleyway. But if you don't know about that story, I mean, you can go look it up on your own time. Horrific incident of him trying to help somebody, and then the person that was attacking that person ended up attacking him, and it almost killed him. It was horrific. But back in 2013, I lived in Australia briefly. I lived in Perth for about a year, a little bit over a year with my dad. Before that, we were living in the Middle East. But when I was in Perth, I went to see the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus with my dad at what is now called Magnet House. It was called Amplifier back when I lived there. They have changed the name. Same venue, just different owner, I think. But I went to see them, and their merch guy, who would turn out to be like my best friend in the world, was selling merch for them. And he had an old flip camera, which if you don't know what that is, YouTube vloggers back in the early days of YouTube, I guess the early days of YouTube, used these things called flip cameras. And it was basically like a handheld point and shoot that had a USB attachment. You plug the camera straight into the computer. You could download the footage. And Justin had one of these, and I was a daily vlogger, which he didn't know at the time. I had been daily vlogging for a while at this point. And because I was living overseas and I thought it was cool, and I was like, I should document this because it's interesting. So we kind of hit it off, like chatted a bit. And for some reason, at the end of the night, he was like, do you want to go meet the band? And I was like, yeah. So he literally walked me backstage, and I met the guys for the first time. And I was like, wow, this is cool backstage. I had never been backstage at a show. Like at a, proper show. I had played a few shows here and there with the band that I had in Australia called Morning Lilith. We were like melodic hardcore kind of. And so Justin and I stayed in touch, and over the next year or so, we would basically just like FaceTime every day, or Skype. I can't even remember what we were using back then. But we would just kind of sit on our computers and do editing and like whatever projects we were working on, and just kind of like stay in touch over the years. And then in 2014, I moved back to the US, and I ended up photographing Warped Tour, I think 12 times that summer. I just found Kevin Lyman, the creator of Vans Warped Tour. I found his email online back when it was like super easy to find that stuff. Sent him an email and asked him if I could photograph Warped Tour, and I ended up photographing, like I said, about a dozen shows that summer. I did all of Texas with my friend Baker Smith, and then I went out to Florida and met up with Justin, and then we did a bunch of shows. And then I ended up getting picked up for a tour that August and did some more Warped Tour shows. And it was just crazy. It was a crazy summer, and Justin and I were pretty inseparable. We would travel around together. We'd go on adventures together. And then when I started touring, and when he was on tour with the Red Jumpsuit guys, we would literally try to meet up at every opportunity. I'm talking like we would pick a gas station that both of our routes intersected and time it perfectly, where I would be sat at a gas station and they would pull up. We would like hug in the parking lot, hang out for 5 minutes, and then be on our way on tour. And it was crazy. But that's just how we did things. And, so I would go to Red Jumpsuit shows whenever they were in the town I was in, or if I had an off day of tour or whatever, I would go see them when I could. Spent a lot of summers in Jacksonville with Justin, got to see the Red Jumpsuit house and like where the band would practice and things like that. So it was just kind of like over the years, just getting to know those guys and kind of interacting with them and being around them a bunch. And then fast forward to 2021, Justin moved to Hawaii and kind of stopped touring and got like a full-time job doing graphic design for a company. And I moved to Nashville because we were both like, fuck living in California. This is crazy. It was during COVID. We couldn't really do anything. Couldn't go anywhere. It was really expensive in California. I was getting out of a bad relationship. He was like just trying to get out to Hawaii his whole life. Finally did. And I was like, I'm going to go to Nashville because my community kind of moved to Nashville, and my friends were like, you should just move here. And so I ended up doing that. 2022 in November, the Red Jumpsuit guys called me and they were like, hey, do you want to do tour content for us? Photo, video, documentaries, all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I started touring with them pretty heavily at the end of 2022, all through 2023. I think I was home for like 45 days in 2023 between touring with Red Jumpsuit and my hardcore band Matriarchs, and just doing other travel work stuff, other tours, emo orchestra, like, it was nonstop that year. And then Red Jumpsuit ended up doing an Australia tour with Boys Like Girls, and Randy, who plays guitar and screams for the band up until now, obviously, he ended up not being able to go to Australia. So Ronnie asked me if I would do content and do screams for the band. And I was like, well, yeah, of course. Like, I'm more than happy to do that. I just had to figure out physically how it was possible for me to scream for a song, run off stage, shoot content, go back on stage in time to set my stuff down, get back to a microphone, scream, and then repeat. So I did that the whole time we were in Australia. It was so much fun. It was like a nonstop chaos, but I thrive in like the chaos and I love a challenge. So it was really cool to be able to do that with them, and I had a blast. And sucks that Randy wasn't with us, but it was a really cool opportunity for me to kind of see what it would be like to perform on like a bigger stage in bigger venues, because my previous bands and my other bands and even Chasing Satellites, like the biggest show that Chasing Satellites has played thus far, mind you, we only started playing shows last October, but the biggest show we played was with Red Jumpsuit, and it was back in March, right after we got back from our tour that we did with Morning in May. And so it was just really, really cool to see that. And of course, I've been doing guest vocals at, festivals like Warped Tour forever, since 2011, I believe, was the first time I got to go on stage at Warped Tour, and that was with Motionless in White. I got to do Abigail with them, and I remember at the first When We Were Young, Motionless in White was playing, and I don't know why I hadn't talked to Chris about this before that, but I had time to like actually hang out with him a bit at When We Were Young. We were like in a catering line or whatever, and I was like, hey man, like, I don't know if you know this, but like, if you hadn't given me that opportunity, I wouldn't have been able to do the things I do. So like, genuinely thank you for that opportunity. And Chris, the humble guy he is, looked at me in my eyes, and he was like, if it wasn't me, it would have been someone else. You deserve to be here. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Just the people in this scene have always been so supportive and so kind to me. From Chris to Maddie Mullins, Jeremy McKinnon, Vic Fuentes, Kellen Quinn, like everybody in the scene has always been really freaking cool to me, and I'm grateful for all of them and all the opportunities I've been given. And so last year I didn't really do much with Red Jumpsuit because they were working on signing to a new label and working on a new album and all this stuff. So they kind of had other priorities last year. Which is super valid, and it gave me an opportunity to do Emo Orchestra 2 with Escape the Fate, as well as really build a solid foundation here in Tennessee with the clients that I have for my photo video business. I work with a bunch of big manufacturing and automation companies, robotics. I do a lot of drone work around Tennessee for different energy sector companies, oil and gas, solar, all kinds of different stuff. So it gave me an opportunity to really like plant myself here, which is awesome because I love living in Nashville. It's a really great place to be a musician as well as a videographer because it's not as saturated as Southern California was. So that was great. And then I went and did Warped Tour DC with Red Jumpsuit, doing photo video for them as a content person. But the second I got on stage to start like making content, their drummer SB was like, hey, do you want to scream? And I was like, sure. I typically would do like the breakdown section of Face Down whenever I'm at shows with them, just because it's fun and, everyone's cool with it and they, it's just a good time. We're just having fun. And I was like, sure, which song? I don't know what possessed me to ask that because it's always Face Down. Like it's never, but I didn't really know what their set was. Obviously Face Down's in the set every time, but I still didn't know. Maybe they were playing Grimm. Maybe they were playing another song I don't know. Anyway, so I asked what song, and he goes, no, the whole set. I was like, hold on. I was like, wait a second. First of all, yeah, I'm down, but you have to clear it with everyone in the band because I recognized how big of a deal it was that Warped Tour was coming. Warped Tour is back, and this is the first Warped Tour back, in 5 years. And I really wanted, I didn't want to take away the light from the band. I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. So I was like, please make sure it's okay with everyone in the band. I'm down, but they got to be cool with it. of course, everybody was super cool with it. And Ronnie has told me that was one of his favorite red jumpsuit sets that they've ever done. And it was so fun for me. But again, I was screaming and then running off stage during like Cat and Mouse and Guardian Angel to do content. And then I would run back on stage to scream. So it was like, it's gonna be very different to not have to do that now. Not that I had to do that, but like I was there to do a job and I wanted to make sure I did that job to the full ability that I could, without, losing any quality in the content because I'm also screaming. So now that I'll get to just focus on performing, I'm excited to just have my head in one place and not have to split my brain into like two different things that I'll have to do. But yeah, that's how I met the guys. That's kind of my history with the band. And I'm very, very excited and grateful for this next chapter. I've also done a bit of like graphic design work for the band. Just like literally we'll be driving through the country and Ronnie will be like, I have an idea. Or like we need new merch or like whatever. And I'll be like, well, let me like whip something up real quick. So I actually designed the baseball jerseys. This is obviously the gas mask that they used for a while. The red jumpsuit logo's right there. And then on the back, it's my favorite. Okay, so on the back it says Elder Emo. Yeah. We can all see the back. Okay, so the back says Elder Emo and it's got the number 13 because 13 is my lucky number. And so I was like, yeah, it doesn't mean anything within the band, but I like the numbers. So that's what these are. I don't know if they sell them online, but they should. I will try to get them back. I've also, yesterday I worked on a couple fun designs that I thought could be cool. So maybe there will be some new merchandise through Red Jumpsuit at shows or on the website. I don't really know the process of all that stuff. Like I said, I'm still being onboarded into the band. And with Chasing Satellites, I've always run everything. Like I am the CEO of Chasing Satellites, but that's not the case here. I am being brought into the band. And I'm excited to not only learn how to operate on like a higher tier as a musician, as an artist, working with labels and management and agents and the business side. I'm really excited to learn more about the business side, but also I really want to work on like helping more live as far as like what we can do vocally. Obviously I'll be screaming, but I would also like to step into like doing harmonies and stuff. And because of that, I've started hearing their catalog differently. I've started hearing the songs differently. Like as a vocalist, I usually listen to the lead vocal, but now I've been listening to the harmonies and the screams, obviously. But like I've really started like picking up on those harmonies and the uniqueness with which Ronnie writes his music and those harmonies. So I'm really excited to kind of see not only like the business side, the performance side, but also like in the studio. I've been really wanting to do more like documentary work in studio with bands that write albums, but I've only done it on like a smaller scale with like I don't want to say like local level bands, but like definitely smaller bands. And so I'm excited to see how they operate with the producers and the engineers and things like that, and how I can, kind of be a part of the writing process or, ideating or conceptualizing music ideas, themes, things like that. So super excited for the future and what's to come. And I tell you what, if you had told, teenage me back in 2006 that one day I would be on stage with that band that I'm watching play in a college cafeteria, I would have laughed at you. And then I would have proceeded to do everything in my power to get to this exact moment the exact same way I did. I wouldn't change anything for the world. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And I'll see you guys at a show. Please come see us. We're playing my hometown in Oklahoma City in August on the 21st, I believe. So yeah, please come out to that show. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there in a different capacity. So yeah, let's have a good time and share music that means something to all of us and matters to all of us. So yeah, my name's Kay. I am the new screamer for the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, and I'll see you guys at a show. Take it easy and subscribe for more. I'll be doing tour vlogs and things like that. And yeah, I love doing that stuff. Tour vlogs do live on my other channel, on my vlog channel, which is just the letter K. I'll link it down below if you want to go check it out. I have a ton of tour vlogs already from working for Red Jumpsuit. So this will be very exciting in this new chapter. So definitely stay tuned. I'll see you guys soon. Stay strong. Keep enduring. Let's rock, baby.